Okay. Look, I've made it very clear. Not mentally retarded. I'm not mentally disabled. I don't use drugs. I'm not off my head. But the acting scene was priceless. And why? Because I was lied about in 2015. And here I am, somebody that's extremely anti-cannabis and have never been any different my entire life. Even when overseas people have said you have to use it for pain management. It's like you don't have anything else. Like even like in places like Fiji, apparently like they don't have any normal painkillers or something. Look, I would never let it, like, even though I never said they're going to one of those island places, I would like, yeah, don't. They're run by the military, they're weird. Um, but yeah, like, I'm still so anti it. So why people thought I wasn't is because Mum's second husband's Mark Rackley and Mum's second husband's son from his first marriage, Daniel Rackley, and both Daniel and Mark Rackley are massive, huge drug users, alcoholics, and cannabis smokers. And in the nursing industry, they're well known. Well, even in there's a Freemason nursing home that's in Movie House. So it's all up in the New England area. And all these first responders, even police and, ambulance drivers and so forth, they know them really well. And because of my self-affiliating with my mother, so my mother moved there with her second husband, Mark Rackley, because of the affiliation between myself, even my twin sister who's stuck under my mum's bubble, and other people affiliated with my mother, I started getting labelled. And I'm like, that's not me. You're talking about our stepbrother. You're talking about Daniel Rackley, and you're talking about Mark Rackley. And I even had idiots in the last 9 years go, we changed his name to Fleming. It's like, no, I didn't. My name is Fleming. I'm born Justin Mark Fleming, and my father is Mark Ian Fleming, and my grandfather is Stanley Fleming. My mother's second husband is Mark Jeffrey Rackley, and his father's Don Rackley, and that's what I really know about him. I don't really know my stepfather. He's a deadbeat. His children from his first marriage is Belinda Rackley, Kimberly Rackley, Michelle Rackley, and Daniel Rackley. His children from his second marriage is Jade Elizabeth Rackley and Faith Marie Rackley. So, yeah, they're not anything to do with me, but I got labelled into it because of this. So there was one lie after the other that went on in 2015. I thought, this is why I did it. I'm looking at Australian legal system, and I'm ringing the police all the time. And I'm saying, this is what's going on. And they're like, well, unless you get assaulted, we can't do anything. And I'm like, are you serious? So I'm getting stalked and harassed, and you're saying you can't do anything. Even I'm also the victim of criminal defamation, and the law states you're meant to arrest them. And I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of dealing with millennial gen of police that grew up with social media and they're stupid. Like, this is the problem now, what we've got in society that's in government departments. I was like, all right, knowing the legal system, I'm like, you're fucked. You're fucked because here's the legal system. Like, you talk to police and you're like, I'm the victim of prying. They're like, well, what's prying? I'm like, it's a criminal offence. Aren't you a police officer? You're meant to arrest people for prying. So if someone comes into the area, even if it's a group or organisation, with the intent to pry in someone's life, that's a criminal offence. That's jail for 3 months. And that offence is taken seriously by the court system because of human rights and civil rights laws. Police don't know. They're stupid. Neither do detectives. They're just dumb people. So then I set out to play a prank on people. It was as simple as that. I thought, no, that's it. I'm not a drug user, not a chemist smoker. I'm anti-everything. Like that. Barely drank alcohol in my life. I don't know these people that got affiliated to me, and my scamming mother wanted to jump onto shit as well, even though I told my scamming piece of shit mother, Carol, in 2015, oh, this is what's going on. So I was like, okay, what do? Well, what have I got? No solicitor, because solicitors in Australia aren't like in the US where you can get a solicitor and say, here's a defamation case, and like, okay, it's a not a Fifth Amendment right, but there's an amendment right here that's been breached. But in Australia, we don't have these laws because we're under the Commonwealth. So we're not protected, we don't have freedom. America has freedom. We're discriminated against in Australia, and we can't even see it. A great example is in the US, they don't discriminate against disabilities. You either have a physical health disability, an illness, that's still disability, or someone has a mental health disability. But they're not going to twist it. They turn around and say, oh, you've trained your dog for a service dog. Why? I have asthma. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's it. Simple. It's not like, well, no, we don't accept asthma. How about we say you've got mental issues and you can't be around people? So that's what they do in Australia. It's like, are you kidding me? Australia is such a scamming, low-life country. Hey, look, it was founded by the wankers of the freaking British kept the low-life freaking indigenous here to be criminal crooks, and then they shipped all freaking criminals here. And it's like, no wonder it's a deadbeat country. Like, America is so much better. It shits all over Australia. Like, it's the legal system that lets Australia down. You know, unless you've got, solicitors that want to do workers' comp or, assault, the rest of the law doesn't get looked into. And I was like, oh no, I'm sick of this. There's privacy laws, there's confidentiality laws, there's crime laws. There's criminal defamation, there's slander. There's all these laws that people are breaking and you're not doing anything about it, and you're police. I was like, no, I'm tired of this. If this was America, it wouldn't be happening. So then I walked around and was being a smartass. Like, great example is IGA was nothing more. So IGA down near where my Uncle Tony and Linda live was nothing more than, I saw the way Mark Hanna was behaving. I thought, no, fuck this. Because I know Mark Hanna was a pawn. Pawn as in, pawn in a chess game. Because all these bullshit with all these people, groups and organisations kept harassing me. After I was lied about in 2015. So I was like, fucking hell, fine. Here we go. Let's put on this act and get rid of Mark Hanna. Basically. So I did. That wasn't real. What? Snap out of it. That wasn't real. Like, wake up to yourself. Same as when the fucking wankers of the King's Cross Police, oh, can we do a statement? So I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, God. To window lickers out there in the world, yeah, I'm sorry, but I had no choice but to do this. I have a speech impediment. So, and I've taken so much Valium, and so the law says that you can't take a statement from me. Yeah, and it's all acting. This is all staged. I did this, by the way. So, you can't take a statement from me whether I'm under the influence of prescription medication. Yeah, so that's not real. You can see that. So I just deliberately did that. I've got acting skills from acting for film and television. I've also been in part, before I was mugged, to do with short roles and so forth. So what I was doing was giving people exactly what they deserved back for lying about me since 2015. Basically, that's it. All I was doing was giving people exactly what they deserved back. You lied about me. You didn't want to stop. There's no legal system in Australia for me to get a solicitor and put a stop to it like there is in America. For example, there's cease and desist laws. There's, so much I could have done if this was America. And I was like, well, what can I use? Oh, well, let's not let my acting studies go to waste then. So it's not real. So what you've got now is a whole shit of paper trail, because you're going to have police running around in circles, and I hope there's a Royal Commission into New South Wales police misconduct. Because, I'm not mentally retarded, and the information I gave you was true for 9 years. So what are you going to do, police and detectives? Because you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. I fucked you over. I'm so proud if I completely fuck over the Australian government and start making Australians wake up to themselves and, the systems in Australia, and say, well, this system's backwards and it's wrong. The American legal system works better. They have constitutional rights, amendments, and so forth. If I, like what I just went through in 2015, I could easily get a solicitor in America, but I can't easily get a solicitor in Australia unless it's something specific that they want to deal with. So there's no law firm out there that's like, oh, defamation, yep, we'll grab this. Okay, can we settle this with a simple letter? Does it go to court? There's more cases in America that have juries than Australia. You're going to Australia and it's one-sided. You're not having two sides, it's one side. There's no bringing information from both sides and going to court with it. What there is just one person, that information on the fact sheet taken as facts, and a magistrate resides over that as facts, and there's nothing. So it is not in Australia, we don't have freedom. But you don't have, the law is there, but it's not utilised. So where you have, it's my legal right to, exonerate myself. Well, they're just dismissing all these, and it's so one-sided communist, and I hate it. So if anything that's come from this, I would love to turn around and say, okay, yeah, fine, it was fake. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Because you can't arrest me for acting and you talk it seriously. You thought it was real, that's your problem. I told you it wasn't. That's your problem, moron. You thought IGA was real? Well, the idiots that harassed me in IGA, and I was like, yeah, okay. No, Audi was better. Audi, let's do Audi. So deliberately done. These it was deliberate. This fucking moron, weird female that actually deliberately harassed me and my dog. It was all planned, and I was like, okay, I've been pre-rehearsing a monologue for this. So I was like, how would you... Oh, actually, I'm going to do it now because I just was doing it to my dog, just rehearsing it before. But yeah, how would you... So I was like, if you were mugged after working, your head was smashed into the concrete. And, yeah, but it was more to it than that because actually it was, doing what I was trained to do when I was acting for film and television, to research and rehearse the lines in front of the mirror, get the emotions and so forth in front of the mirror. So you do it all in front of the mirror. So you're acting in front of the mirror so you can see, where your strengths and your weaknesses are. Get that monologue down and then go and play it. And I did. I did. It was brilliant. I mean, Coles was just funny. Coles was just joking around. But these idiots, I said straight away, it's like, no, not mentally retarded. I've got a green card to America. I did study design, and my dog, he's a service dog per American standards. And they just, in Australia, looking back going, oh, he's mentally retarded. He thinks he's got a green card to America? I'm like, yeah, I do have a green card to America. And my dog, as per American standards of having asthma, you can have a service dog trained. So I did. But you're an idiot. They didn't believe me because you're some deadbeat, bogan, backwards idiot, probably from a country town that's joined the police force, or some low socioeconomic upbringing, and you're in jobs like military, police force, government workers. Like, you're an idiot. These people that work in our departments, it's like, where'd you grow up? Oh, sorry, we're Grafton? Like, where? Some country town? Okay. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I would even say people in Blacktown have more brains than you. Okay? So, yeah, that wasn't real. And the worst thing that happened to me from it was, I got monitored and surveillance. But so what? That's compensatable. You monitored and surveillance me. You knew you got wrong information. You kept it going. That's all compensatable. Have a good look about what's already being said as a president. So there's precedents of what payout for compensation for damages for monitoring and surveillance are. Think about that. Look at what it's cost me. Triple it. And you're still not going to come to a figure that I'm going to accept. Pretty much back here to make a fool out of you people. You could have stopped. I was living in America where I've held a green card since 2014. You could have stopped and listened to me when I was telling you the truth. And idiots decided not to listen to me. I was like, all right, your choice. It's your choice to not believe me. And you've gone with wrong information. That's your choice. The same with the crap about me being, violent and stuff. Yeah, no, that was Mark and Daniel Rackley. Also, is my mother scammed again? Listen, let me tell you. Yeah, Carol's up to a little scam. And the fact that my twin sister Amanda seems to be part of it since 2015. I've turned around and gone, okay, Amanda told everyone bullshit lies in 2013. Because if she can honestly sit back and lie about her own brother now, and she is, and has done so since 2015, it's like, okay, then she's just a liar like Carol. So Carol really trained Amanda to be exactly like herself. You kept Amanda under a bubble, and she's a liar. So I'm looking there going, well, it's gone on for 9 years, and my twin sister's part of it. Because she didn't actually help me what I specifically asked help with, which was correct the information. And now she's lying about her own brother. So, with all this bullshit that's gone on. It's like, hang on a minute. So then everything that you've told everyone in 2013 is bullshit. Carol did put you up to it. So what everybody actually first assumed in 2013, that Carol was putting Amanda up to things. And I'm there going, no, I'm defending Amanda. I've got that light's right in my eyes. I was defending Amanda going, no, Amanda wouldn't lie to me. No, Amanda told me this happened. She wouldn't lie to me. And they're like, but did you ever hear of this before 2013? I'm like, well, no, I didn't. Like, Amanda's never brought this up before 2013. It's like, right. Think about how your mother always had Amanda. And I'm like, yeah, I understand this. Like, Amanda was always under mum's bubble. Under mum's control. She did everything. Like, Amanda was petrified to tell people her last name was Fleming and let people believe her last name was Rackley because she was scared of my mother. And I'm like, yeah, look, this is true, but Amanda told me that, she was telling me the truth. So I believed Amanda. And now I don't. Now I feel so mortified for my own twin sister that I'm sitting back going, you lied to me. And she's so close to my mother. I'm like, oh my God, you definitely lied to me. Because she knows what our mother's like and what my mother was like to me growing up. And I'm looking at Amanda going, oh no, you're a liar. Oh my God, you are a liar. What you've just done. So that's the reason why I'm having to do with Amanda. Sorry, God, early morning doing the videos. Itchy ear. I get this. I don't know if there's an infection that comes and goes on my left ear or not, or if it's part of when I got hit from the mugging. You can see the damage to my face here. But every so often I get this bit of a sensation in my ear where it feels like, oh God, it's got to unblock again so I can hear from it on my left side. It's been like that since I was mugged. Oh, it's annoying. Anyway. Probably makes me talk louder at times as well. Don't realise that. But yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, so I thought, no, this is rubbish. Like, I made statements about people, and I've had organisations that were involved, and I was like, oh, he's making up stories about everybody. I'm like, all right, let's just get the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission into it then, because every statement I've done details and I've actually said the truth. In actual fact, I'm the only person that is telling the truth, and I warned everybody for coming after my life in the last 9 years what you're going to get in return. You're going to lie about me, then I'm going to tell the truth about you. And that's all I'm doing. Like, I am the only person that is telling the truth, and I'm getting lied about. And it's like, okay, did you look at any information that I gave? Like Lucy, what's the detective I was talking to here? Lucy Alcock from Bondi. I've got a freaking meeting today soon. I've got to have a couple hours sleep before it. I've been busy doing emails. Just getting things done today, so I have to worry about it. I think, you know what? After my meeting, if I want to go and relax and get a coffee, I can't have to rush home because I don't have a laptop anymore to sit down somewhere and do my emails. Yeah, so Lucy, what's this inquiry? Line Survey Department of Communities and Justice, Office of the Legal New South Wales Commissioner. Oh, hang on. That's another one I was supposed to do. Please find out. Oh, okay. Shit. There we go. I was just looking for this. I was literally just looking for this email. God. And I was going to get it done, and I thought, I've already deleted it. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Yeah, there it is. I'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, so Lucy Alcock, detective at Bondi, saying, okay, look, I'm not meant to retard. The information I gave you is true, and whatever bullshit that's gone on over the years. Giovanni Consalvo, my ex-partner, he wasn't a carer. Myself, I'm anti-cannabis. I would never smoke cannabis unless I was forced to for a reason, like for a medical reason. But it's like, then I'm anti it. I'm so anti, and anyone who's known me through like growing up is like, I've never known Justin to ever accept cannabis. It's his stepfather, his stepbrother that does. And that's the truth. Like, I have never ever been. I'm so anti where I'm the person that would be sitting back going, please never change your laws. If you smoke cannabis, it's a 2-year jail sentence type thing. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Never had drinking issues or anything like this. What I actually deliberately did do, but to so because there was some wanker from Tamworth living next door to me, Michael Long, who came at me with information related to Mark Rackley, my mum's second husband, and then Michael Long is a reformed alcoholic, and I was like, okay. So I was getting my beer and putting in my red wine glass and walking on the balcony and like, no, I'm playing. Let me play some old songs and pretend to be playing cards and I'm having a breakdown. Yeah, I was doing this deliberately because the fuck was from Tamworth. Basically, I want to put on like songs like you got to know when to hold him and when to fold him, like ridiculous songs like this. And they're playing, like I had my cassette table out. And it was Ribena and red wine glass. It was acting. It was acting because that's how much I can't stand those fuckwits who know my stepfather's family and then project their issues onto me. And this is a common thing for New England area of Tamworth, that these wankers have been doing it since my mother moved there. And I hate their guts. I hate these country town people's guts because my mother moved there with her second husband, and I've had her like issues caused because they're like, great example, a guy called Mr. Ferguson goes to me once. He's like, oh, you'll be like your father, like some like deadbeat drunk cannabis smoker. And I'm like, he's not my father. Like, doesn't know how many times I told his parents, like, my dad's a builder. So Mum moves there with her second husband, and I keep telling people, don't call me Rackley. My last name's Fleming. They're like, oh, he wants to be called Fleming because it's posh. I'm like, that's what these Tamworth people did. I'm telling you now, they did that. I'm like, no, I want to be called Fleming because it's my last name. And my mum's been a smart ass going, calling Rackley, like mum's been an idiot. And she was writing Rackley on everywhere. It's like, oh God, as a 10-year-old kid, I'm looking at this going, one day Carol's going to go to jail. If it's not child abuse, she'll be going to jail for something because here she is writing it down. I would go up to reception and go, I don't care what mum wrote down. My last name's not Rackley. She just remarried before moving here. My last name's Fleming. And when I was at school, my homeroom teacher said, like, so I actually was very straight first day of high school. Went to my homeroom teacher, Mr. Robinson, and said, my last name's not Rackley. That's mum's second husband. She only just remarried before moving here. And he goes, oh, go to reception. They'll have to have your birth certificate. Tell them to go off your birth certificate. Explain to them what's gone on. So I did. So Mr. Robinson was lovely. He was his deaf, Mr. Robinson. My homeroom teacher, I was heading for religion and history. And the first day of high school, he goes, so I went up to reception. I explained what's been going on, that my last name's Fleming, got off my birth certificate. My dad's Mark Ian Fleming, still living in Sydney. He's a builder. This other person that my mum's parading around Tamworth is a newly married second husband. He's not our father. So I'd like to know what scams my mum's done. Yeah. So I did this straight first day at high school. And a lot of people didn't believe me. I literally had wankers like the fuckwits that lived below me, Frank and Heidi Jones, which are from New England. Oh, they were so obvious from New England as I met them. It's like, oh man, piss off back there because I can't stand you people. You were wank, like those people are such wankers, which Amanda even lives around. It's like I moved back home to Sydney. Couldn't believe my mother was so insane to run away from Sydney to an area that she didn't even know, because that's what she did. She went there for a holiday, bought a house and came back and moved. Literally didn't even look around the area to see if she liked it. She went there for a weekend with Mark Rackley. He said he loved her, reminded me of Adelaide, so she bought a house there. That's it. She's insane. She's a loser. And then she wants everyone to do the same. So now I went back home to Sydney. I can't stand these people, so that's why I played a prank on this idiot. He goes, Michael Long from Tamworth. And I was like, okay, you watch me. Oh, Deb Mears from Marriott Street, Tamworth, you watch me. Because I will make sure as hell that people from the New England and Tamworth area get seen for exactly the types of characters of people that they truly are. For example, my name is Justin Mark Fleming. My dad is Mark Ian Fleming. My grandfather, which is the one that looks ethnic, he's an orphan. So Stanley Fleming's an orphan, but his name is Stanley Fleming. Stanley Fleming is Stanley Fleming, my pop. Okay, the Rackleys is my mum's second husband's family. Now, that is something very simple for everyone to understand, except for people from New England and country town areas where my mother moved to, and I can't stand them. So did I deliberately play a prank in 2017 to get back at these people? Yes, I did. Can you blame me? No, I don't. You could blame me. But when it comes to anybody from New England, you're going to meet the biggest righteous, entitled pieces of wankers you're ever going to meet in your entire life. Anybody from Tamworth or New England, Armidale areas, you're going to meet the biggest entitled pieces of shit people that you would ever see in your entire life. They're righteous. They think they know more than you. For an example, we grew up with horses in Sydney. My mum moved there, and suddenly you got these idiots saying, oh, we know more because we're from here. It's like, no, you don't. You actually know less. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And these people never believed about the shows, like the show circuits around Sydney. Moore Park was all full of horses. Everywhere around the inner city, because I'm there going, well, my grandfather racing horses, and he's from Balmain. Like my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, mum's father, he's never left the city. Oh, until he moved to the suburbs of Sydney, but that was it. So, yeah. And he's the people that we're trying to deal with. So, good luck. I'll leave it at that, so it uploads, because I've got to get some sleep before my appointments today. But I've got the same fuckwits here. I put up with Tamworth and New England people for 9 years, when I shouldn't have to put up with them at all. I shouldn't have to see them, especially when it's being deliberate. So I don't give a shit. Are you going to put up with more people from where my mother moves to? And then you get them going, is that a trigger for you? Is it trauma? Like, no. I just think you're a dickhead. Like, there's no triggers, no trauma. My mother moved there. What has that got to do with me? Just because my mother moved there, you think that you can be involved in my life? My mother moved from Sydney, not me. She moved there with her second husband and started a new family. So what has that got to do with me or my life? Nothing at all. Nothing. So as for you deadbeat losers of people like Deb Mears from Maria Street, Tamworth, who's a fucking moron. Michael Long, who's some fat fucking deadbeat loser who drove a truck, junkie, friggin' alcoholic idiot that lost all his weight because he found whatever he found. So I don't give a shit. You're a moron. You're a good match for my mum's second husband's family. Frank and Heidi Jones from New England area. It's like, man, you're such righteous, up your own fucking ass people that come to Sydney and you want Sydney to change. It's like, but I'm from Sydney. Sydney's not going to change for you. You remind me of Adelaide people that do the same. My ex-partner used to do the same. It's like, oh, it's so noisy. I'm like, go back to Adelaide. Like, seriously, my ex Giovanni had a problem with how noisy parts of Sydney where I lived was, and he used to go to my doctors and so he could get what he wants. That's what he used to do. Justin, he's got these issues, so he really needs to find a quiet, safe environment. I'm like, no, I don't. Oh, please, I don't want quiet. I've lived most of my life in the city, and it's because Giovanni wanted quiet because he's from Adelaide. I'm like, oh God, I don't want quiet. Oh my fucking God, I couldn't think of a worse nightmare. I want 24-hour city. I've lived most of my life in the city. I said, give me quiet, I'll go fucking stir raving mad. So Giovanni, this little scammer, so they're all the same. So these types of people, they're all the same. Like Giovanni's like a country town person. Moved in the city trying to be somebody that he's not. It's like, well, I'm from Sydney and my family are from the inner city. And my mother moved with her second husband. So I don't have to be anything that I'm not. Because I can sit here and say, well, my great uncle who I was close to growing up, he's a snob. He was actually from Bellevue Hill. So a bit of his snobbiness ran off on me. But when I grew up with him, he wasn't living in Bellevue Hill. I know he's from Bellevue Hill from my Nana Lola and my great uncle. Well, I call him Uncle Fred, but his real name's Leo. From him telling me, and from even from talking to Nan's cousin Gary Williams, who lived in Bellevue Hill. But I never knew him when he lived in Bellevue Hill. I just know that my nan used to catch the tram from Leichhardt to Bellevue Hill to see her grandmother, and that's where else Uncle Fred lived in Edgecliff Road. I knew Uncle Fred when he lived in Leichhardt. So when I grew up with Uncle Fred, he was living in Leichhardt, and so was my great grandmother. But I can sit back and say, well, my great grandmother Mary, grew up with her, Piper Street, Leichhardt. Her brother, my Uncle Fred's actually from Bellevue Hill. That's why we're such a snob. But I'm from the suburbs of Sydney. I'm born and raised in the suburbs of Sydney. But I lived most of my life in the city. So I don't say that I'm from somewhere I'm not. I sit back and I say, well, Mum's born in Darlinghurst, which she is. They lived, because her parents were still living in Rozelle. Then they moved to Medowie while they were saving money to buy the place in Blacktown in 1962. My nan said it was amazing to live in the suburbs back in those days. Not like now, but, Nan was always saying, you've got to look at the time difference. In the 1960s, you were somebody if you lived in one of those new estates in the suburbs, and we were it was a 1-year-old house, the second owners. So they bought it off the first owner. So Nan was like, like shopping malls, air-conditioned shopping malls, things like this. That's what Nan was saying. Like, it was, you get out of the city and you're somebody. And I'm, different to what my mother tells, but she goes, Justin, look at any of the 1960s areas or the 1950s areas. These were new areas, and it was, the whole suburban sprawl. You were somebody if you lived in these areas. The change arounds happened, so now it's not. But back when we moved here, it was like a brand new place. You had front yard, backyard. We had hedges. You had sidewalks. It was all maintained. The government maintained the trees along the road. It was one of those beautiful, like you see on TV, type thing. Like those 1950s, 1960s subdivisions type thing. You weren't anybody if you lived in the city, and we were from the city. Like Nan and Pop were from the city, so they moved to the suburbs. And that's what Nan said, Lola. And I always liked the city because that's how the conversation started. So I'm from the suburbs and moved to the city and lived in the city most of my life. So I don't pretend to be anything I'm not. That's just the facts. The other facts are that, what I've said about where my other family members have lived, it's where they have. I didn't say I have, but, my grandparents, my grandfather, my grandmother, even my great-grandparents, where they lived, where they got married around the city, that's where they're from, around the city. Not sorry, but, if that offends you, which is insane, it's like, but that's where my family are from. They're all originally all indigenous to the city. So they're all indigenous to the city. So when I grew up, I spent time seeing these people that were still alive around the city areas where they were from. Just because I wasn't from the area that they were from doesn't mean I didn't spend time in those areas growing up, which is what I keep saying to people. Just because I wasn't born and raised in Leichhardt doesn't mean I didn't spend a lot of my time in Leichhardt growing up where my great-grandmother, where my grandmother was raised, Lola was raised, or Balmain and Roselle. Just because I wasn't from Bellevue Hill doesn't mean that I didn't spend a lot of time with my grandmother Lola growing up, driving her to places where her family was from, even driving her up here to Bellevue Hill and other areas when, as soon as I got my license. Or just down the road from Birkenhead Point, where her sister-in-law, Margaret Keegan, where her sister Tess lived, and places like this. So it's like, just because I'm not born and raised and went to school there doesn't mean I didn't spend time there growing up. And that's what I've said. So where I'm born and raised and went to school is where I'm born and raised and went to school. Where I've lived most of my life, or I lived the longest period of my life in Surrey Hills and Rushmore Bay. Where I'm born and where I'm raised, born and raised in the suburbs of Sydney. Where I went to high school is a different area. But just because all these areas doesn't mean I didn't spend a lot of time growing up in this area, this area, and this area, because my relatives were still alive in those areas and I was closest to my grandparents, spending time in these areas with my grandparents. So I never said I'm from there. But the family members who are from there, and that's it. And police, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, let me get that out. Hey, dumb dog shit police force, go and listen to my loser mother again. Or wait, let's make up stories that I had a psychotic breakdown. That was a great acting scene. Or deny any of the facts that I've said, even though you're gaslighting me because I've got all the documents of proof of it. Great example. Okay, Nan's grandmother, she died in Leichhardt, in the front bedroom, 43 Piper Street, Leichhardt, which is where Nan was raised. But Nan used to grow up visiting her grandmother, Julia, in Bellevue Hill, but there was Julia's sister's house that she used to go to. So my Nan used to go to Julia, her grandmother's sister's house, which was Nan said it was Annie Williams Shawkner. But Annie Williams, her son is Tommy Williams. Her grandson's Gary Williams. I don't care. Like, you're a government. Go look it up. I haven't seen Gary Williams since 2003 when it was Margaret Keegan's funeral. He told me he was still living in Bondi, which is where he's from. Nan was asking about his grandmother's house. I'll tell you the people that will remember exactly this. And this pisses me off because I've asked them. Gross and bores. Cherie's mother. So mum's cousin. So my... second cousin, which is Sharon and her husband Chick Newcomb. They live up the North Coast now. So Sharon and Chick Newcomb, they would know, which is Cherie Murphy's mother. So Cherie Murphy's mother, who's been asked so many times, is like, well, you would remember Gary Williams' grandmother's house. It's like, yeah, I remember going there when around the time it was getting sold, and so does Chick. So, can we remember the address? Can you confirm this for me? Because I'm getting lied about, even though I've said that he's from Bellevue Hill, which, he is. And they're like, oh, what do you want to, why can't you let go and move on? It's like, no, I'm not letting go and move on because this is a fact. And these are facts that relate to Nan Lola and Uncle Fred. And I mentioned this, and now I'm going through hell with organisations that thought I made it up. So just go and give me the information I've asked for. Like, you're meant to be my family. Like, that's mum's cousin. So this is my nan's sister, Mari's daughter. But even though Sharon was raised by my big nan, Mary, this happens all in my family. Family gets born by one person, gets raised by another person. So Sharon Newcomb and Chick Newcomb, her daughter is, I think Sean Newcomb still lives on the Central Coast. Cousin Sean Newcomb and his sister Cherie Newcomb married a Murphy, so she's Cherie Murphy. She's up the North Coast. But it's like same thing. Like, Sean used to live in Empire Bay, just down the road from Dad's. It's like, well, God, can't you just do that one thing I asked? Like, do the one thing I asked. Because here I am sitting back for 9 years, even with police, and you got mum shooting her mouth off. It's like, okay, mum's cousin, Sharon, you can go and confirm that, yes, what Justin says is the truth. I'm not getting, you don't have to get involved. That's the thing, I don't want to get involved. And it's like, but you don't have to get involved. All you have to do is say, The last known address I knew of Gary Williams' grandmother, Annie, was this address in Bellevue Hill. I know that Gary sold the house and moved to Bondi. People lost contact with family members. I haven't seen Gary since 2003. Okay? There. So that way, I'm not being viewed as a character that I am. I mean, there you go. What, Sharon and Chick Newcomb could do that? I've asked Cherie, same with Cherie Murphy, so many times. It's like, you could do that. Like, they're up on the North Coast, near Foster or somewhere. Cherie's brother is still on the Central Coast. I know he left his first wife. I don't know if his first wife still lives down the road from Dad's at Empire Bay. But I can tell you the address because his mother used to live a couple of doors up in the little sort of cottage house. And so, Sean Newcomb. I used to work for a real estate agent on the Central Coast. It's like, seriously, man, like I asked for one thing from you, even if we're distant family members because we're second cousins. It's like I asked for one simple thing because I'm telling you I'm getting lied about, and mum is being what mum does, a bitch, and starts causing trouble in my life. And all you have to do is go, I don't want to get involved with, because Justin's mother's family has issues. We don't want to get involved in that. Don't get involved in it. I'm not asking you to get involved in it. I'm just asking you to state a fact. And that's all I've done with them. It's like, because they've done this in the last 9 years. Oh, we don't want to get involved. Your family, like your mother and her sisters and whatever, they've got to, work their own shit out. It's like, I'm not asking you to get involved. I'm asking you to confirm something to be true. That's not getting involved. That's asking you, as my second cousin, that knows the information that I've just stated to be the truth, to go and confirm what I've said to be the truth. It is that simple. You can easily go and confirm the information that I've just stated to be the truth, so that way I don't have any more issues. That's exactly what, Cherie Murphy could go to her mother and her father, Chick and Sharon Newcomb, and say, can you just go and confirm this for Justin? That's all he wants. He doesn't want you getting involved. Doesn't want you to pick sides between Miriam Mahowski and Carol Purdy, like his mother and his auntie and himself. He doesn't want that. He just wants the information confirmed so he can stop being lied about. Like, just that's it. And you can stand up and say, well, look, we're not getting involved. And that's fine. Don't get involved with family feuds. Don't. I'm not asking you to get involved with family feud. I'm asking you to tell the truth and confirm what I'm saying to be the truth. Like Sharon Newcomb, asking you to just confirm the truth. That's it. You can easily do that and say, well, haven't heard from Gary, or I don't know if they keep in touch with Gary. I haven't seen Gary for a long time. 2003 is a long time ago. We're talking about 21 years. And he was living 21 years ago, still living in Bondi. He could be really old. He could be dead. I don't know. His nan's cousin. I didn't keep in touch with him. But what I'm saying is that you could easily confirm this information. Where I've been lied about, you can stand up and go, well, Justin's telling the truth. Yeah, that's right. So, our Uncle Fred, Leo Patrick Sayer, his name is, so Mary Sayer's brother, my great-grandmother's brother, Sharon's grandmother's brother. So Sharon's, Sharon was raised by my great-grandmother. Actually, in fact, when I talked to Sharon, she said, why you call Big Nan when you grew up? So why? She goes, because I told you. That's what I used to call him. So Big Nan was Big Nan, Little Nan was Little Nan. So I was close to Sharon growing up. This is why it's really hurts, because there's family feuds and people that I was close to growing up are dragged into it, and now we're all distance in the last 9 years. Sharon Newcomb, Chick Newcomb, really close to growing up. More close to Sharon Newcomb than I ever was her sister from her mother's second husband, which was Colette. Never really liked Colette as much. Colette ended up being more close to my mum's sister. So how things were. So Sharon and Chick Newcomb was more like-minded with me, my mother and so forth. And we always kept in touch with them. So Sharon and Chick Newcomb, their kids were Sean and Cherie Newcomb. And Cherie married a Murphy, so it became Cherie Murphy. And it's Cherie's husband, who is actually Denny Designer Jewelers. Denny Murphy's in Tamworth, in the Tamworth Arcade. He's a jeweler, where I have my jewelry from. So, yeah. Actually, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put this on a quick number post after this as well.